He wins, and they were in. Carlson and Steelers needed help. In the NFC, one place remained Detroit in pole position. They went over the Bears, and they were in. Defending champion Rams not only needed a win in New Orleans,
the thought of having half a field advantage throughout the playoffs sparked Tiki Barber to cut in for a touchdown and put the Giants up 7-0 over the Jags. Fred Taylor is thunder and lightning for Jacksonville. He goes 44 yards to tie the game at 7, but the Giants knocked Taylor out of the game, and that stalled the Jags' O. Kerry Collins hit Ike Hilliard on the rollout to put New York up 14-10. Collins a candidate for comeback player of the year this season. Then Collins hit his main man, Amani Toomer, for a 54-yard touchdown, and the Giants were ahead 21-10. But the Jags fought back. Mark Brunell hit Kyle Brady to make it 21-18 after the same two players combined for a two-point conversion. The Jags then went onside with the kickoff, but the ball popped out to Jason Sehorn, and he strolled 38 yards untouched for a touchdown, putting the Giants up by 10. Brunell hit Alvis Wided for a late touchdown. They tried the onside kick again, but again the Giants recovered. They hung on to win 28-25. Toomer had a career-high 193 as the Giants continued their win streak since Jim Fossil guaranteed a playoff spot. The Jags were two teams, and the team without Fred Taylor didn't make the playoffs. It was probably Denver's last game at Mile High Stadium, and the latest tailback du jour, Karan Coleman, had a 24-yard touchdown run to put them up 10-0 over San Francisco. The tailback du jour, Mike Anderson, went in from 1 yard out to make it 17-0 at the half. Brian Greasy re-injured his shoulder, but Gus Farad hit Ed McCaffrey for 25 yards. That made it 24-0. And then Farad made it 31-0 on his own, a 13-yard touchdown scramble. Some guys will do anything. Mike Anderson's second touchdown of the day made it 38-zip. The Broncos swamped San Francisco 38-9. McCaffrey and Rod Smith became only the second teammates in history to have 100 catches each in the season. Anderson's rookie season went 1,500 yards and 14 touchdowns. In Seattle, Rob the Franchise Johnson sat out a meaningless game, and Doug Flutie combined with Sean Bryson for an early Bills lead. Up and in. Big Jamie Nails always wanted to be a referee. Then the little guy hit Peerless Price for 18 yards and a 14-0 Buffalo lead. And Flutie tells Price, you know, Peerless, we really could have been doing this all season long if Wade Phillips had just been smart. The Seahawks lost 3 fumbles on the day, but Charlie Rogers got them back in the game with an 81-yard kickoff return for a touchdown. Rogers has been Seattle's best offensive weapon most of the season. But Antoine Smith's 9-yard touchdown run put the Bills up 21-7. Smith busting out of a season-long slump. And then Flutie's third touchdown pass of the day, this one to Jay Remersma, had Buffalo up 28-14 at the half. In the third quarter, Smith got his second touchdown. Bills up 35-14. Ricky Waters cut the Buffalo lead to 35-23 with a 6-yard touchdown dash, but that was as close as Seattle got. Antoine Smith's third touchdown of the game gave the Bills a 42-23 win over Seattle. The Bills were 4-1 with Flutie starting on the season, 4-7 with Rob Johnson. Flutie's 20 for 25, 366 was his best game of the season. On the other hand, Antoine Smith was averaging 2 yards per carry up till today.
Flutie the man, eh?
It's hard to tell in a meaningless game. Remember, last year they benched Flutie for the last game of the season, which was meaningless. Rob Johnson had a great game. Then he came out and they lost the game to Tennessee in the playoffs. So you can't put too much store on this, but you may remember a few weeks ago I said I thought Flutie would be a good fit for Seattle, especially if they draft a quarterback and they need a year or two to get him ready. So he goes out and has a great game against Seattle.
He's right. Mercurial talent, I think, is the word you want to use.
The problem in Buffalo is that John Butler got fired. Ralph Wilson, the owner, was basically renegotiating his contract. He's the general manager, and he's done a great job in Buffalo. he basically offered to double his money, but Butler he knew he had other. In Philadelphia, Bengals receiver Danny Farmer fumbled. Phillies' Bobby Taylor finally found the ball and fell on it. Eagles had the ball in Bengals territory. Cue Donovan McNabb to hit Charles Johnson for 39 yards. And yes, I know that the pylon is part of the end zone. 10-0 Eagles. Down 13-0 in the fourth quarter. Slingin' Scott Mitchell hit Peter Warrick for a late touchdown, but the Bengals rolled over and played dead. They lost 16-7 to the playoff-bound Eagles. McNabb lost the NFL's MVP to Marshall Faulk, but again, he was the story of the Eagle win. McNabb and the Eagles defense. In Washington, it was time for the Billionaire Boys Club to count their change on the season. Champ Bailey moved to running back to give the Skins a 7-0 lead over the Cardinals. Brad Johnson to ageless Irving Fryer made it 14-0. Brad's last touchdown pass in Washington, I'll betcha. Champ Bailey back on D this time, grabbed one of 3 interceptions off Jake Plummer as Washington won 20-3. The Skins didn't make the playoffs, but they did set an NFL attendance record, nearly 650 fans, over 80,000 per game in Washington. Arizona finished a perfect 0-8 on the road. In Pontiac, the Lions went up 10-0 over the Bears on a 9-yard touchdown from Charlie Batch to Dave Sloan. Cade McNown was in for the injured Shane Matthews, and his pass to Marty Booker gave the Bears their first lead at 13-10 in the third quarter. But Stoney Case, who was in for the injured Batch, ran 13 yards to put the Lions back in the lead, 17-13. This is Stoney Case, remember. He gets picked off by R.W. McQuarters. McQuarters goes 61 yards untouched for a touchdown, and that puts the Bears back in front. Of course, these are the Bears, remember. They were feeling generous, and James Allen fumbled the football. Alan Aldridge recovered, and a Jason Hansen field goal tied the game at 20. But in the final minute, Stoney Case again scrambled. Terry Cousin blindsides him. Case's fumble was recovered by Roosevelt Colvin after Tony Semple missed it. And on the game's final play, rookie kicker Paul Edinger's 54-yard field goal gave the Bears the win, knocked Detroit out of the playoffs. It's not fair to say the Lions choked, but Gary Moeller is going to hire Dr. Heimlich as the team's physician next season. The Bears were 1-9 with Cade McCown starting, 3-3 with Matthews or Jim Miller starting. Who would you choose? In Atlanta, Sean Jefferson's 17-yard touchdown from Chris Chandler put the Falcons up 7-0 over the Chiefs. Tony Gonzalez takes the tight end screen 21 yards from Elvis Gerbach, goes in for the touchdown to tie the game at 7, and gets the dunk. After 4 Morton Anderson field goals, Chandler hit Brian Kozlowski to put Atlanta up 26-7 in the fourth quarter. The former UConn star was the man in demand. Van Anderson's 5th field goal of the game made it 29-7. Atlanta go on to win 29-13. Jamal Anderson had a 100-yard game rushing as the Falcons looked just like the Falcons who went to the Super Bowl a couple of years ago. Of course, it didn't really matter at this point in the season, did it? In Foxborough, Tony Carter put the Patriots up 7-3 over the Dolphins. New England extended the lead to 14-3 on a 52-yard pass from Drew Bledsoe to Kevin Falk. But Miami's Jay Fiedler hit Hunter Goodwin from 9 yards out to cut the lead to 14-10. A nice catch by the backup tight end. Twan Russell blocked a Lee Johnson punt to put Miami in scoring position. And from that position, Lamar Smith's 1-yard run put the Dolphins in the lead, 17-14. But then with 9 seconds left in the first half, Bledsoe hit Terry Glenn on a 16-yard touchdown. Patriots up 21-17. Lamar Smith's second touchdown tied the game at 24 with just 5 minutes to play. Great second and third effort by Lamar Smith. And then Olindo Mare's 49-yard field goal with just 15 seconds remaining gave Miami the win, 27-24, and the AFC East title. Fiedler's 264 yards passing was Miami's offense. Bledsoe threw for 312. That was his first 300-yard game of the season. In Baltimore, Turnpike Vinny's 37-yard toss to Dedrick Ward had the Jets up 7-0 over the Ravens. The Ravens' league's best defense wasn't looking so great. Testaverde to Richie Anderson put the Jets up 14-zip. But Trent Dilfer's 7-yard toss to Kadri Ismail cut the lead to 14-7. Dilfer injured his hand, but had to return to the game when Tony Banks went out injured. Late in the first half, Chris McAllister stepped in front of Ward, takes the pick back 98 yards. The Ravens go up 19-14 at halftime. That was one of 3 interceptions of Testaverde on the day. Then with the lead down to 19-16, Jermaine Lewis took a punt back 54 yards right up the middle. Baltimore back in front 26-16. And Lewis's second punt return for a touchdown. This one 89 yards, sealed a 34-20 win for the Ravens as the Jets, needing just 1 win in their last 3 games to clinch a playoff spot, couldn't get one despite outgaining Baltimore 524 yards to 142. Al Groh announced that he'd hired Dr. Heimlich away from the Lions as his team physician. In New Orleans, Marshall Faulk's 13-yard touchdown pass from Kurt Warner had the Rams up 7-0 over the Saints. But the Saints' Darren Smith intercepted Warner, took it 41 yards, and that tied the game at 7. It was 10-7 Rams at the half, then up 13-7. Marshall Faulk went 9 yards to give the Rams a 19-7 lead in a game they knew they had to win. Aaron Brooks fakes the screen, then hits Willie Jackson for a 28-yard score that cuts the lead to 19-14. With Kurt Warner out with a concussion, Trent Green came in the game for the Rams. Green hit Torrey Holt with a 42-yard bomb right down to the 1-yard line. Marshall Faulk's 1-yard touchdown run put the Rams up 26-14. He rushed for a career-high 220 yards. His 3 touchdowns gave him 26 for the season. That's an NFL record. Joe Horn's late touchdown pass from Aaron Brooks was too little, too late for the Saints. St. Louis won 26-21, and coupled with Detroit's choke, that gave them the playoff wild card. And remember, Marshall Faulk got his 26 touchdowns despite missing 2 games. He had 11 in the last 3 weeks, earning himself the NFL's MVP award. You all know the story by now. At temperatures below 40 degrees, Tampa lose, and it sure looked like they were following the pattern as Amon Green's 2 early touchdowns on the frozen ground at Lambeau Field put the Packers up 14-0 over the Bucs. But Sean King hit Keyshawn Johnson, who picked his way across the frozen tundra, cutting Green Bay's lead to 14-11. With 9 seconds left and the game tied at 14, Martin Gramatica missed a 40-yard field goal that would have won it for Tampa and broken the streak. Then in overtime, Lamont Parker's 21-yard run helped set up Ryan Longwell for a game-winning field goal. And Longwell, who thought he, not Gramatica, should have been the Pro Bowl kicker, nailed it from 22 to give Green Bay the win and keep the Bucs' cold-weather losing streak alive at 19 games. Amon Green had 74 yards rushing, 78 receiving, and after the game was named Green Bay's season MVP.
And in fact, that Green Bay win means that at some point in the first quarter of their game, the
Pittsburgh still had a playoff shot, but San Diego had already clinched the first pick in the draft. Ryan Leaf to Jeff Graham for a long touchdown for a team with nothing to lose. Still, it was San Diego, so they could try. As Will Blackwell takes the ensuing kickoff, watch for number 3, John Carney, the Martin Gramatica Toreador Tacklers Club. Olé, says Carney, as Blackwell breaks 2 real tacklers on his way to a 98-yard touchdown to tie things up at 7. Marvin Harrison picked off a Cordell Stewart pass and took it 63 yards for a touchdown. That puts San Diego back in front 14-7. Were the Chargers there to mean business? Not really. Cordell tied it up with a perfect fade to Courtney Hawkins. That made it 14-all. Then with the Steelers up 17-14, Cordell took the safe approach. He ran it in himself from 19 yards out. It was 24-14 at the half. The Steelers went on to win 34-21. Stewart ran for 81 yards. That was 3 times as much as San Diego. The Chargers finished 1-15, but Mike Riley will be back. In Oakland, Rich Gannon hit Jeremy Brigham with the first of his 5 touchdown passes to put the Raiders up 7-0. Gannon hit his other tight end, Ricky Dudley, for 21 yards. That put Oakland up 31-9 over Carolina. Steve Berline wasn't having a great day. Eric Allen's 37-yard interception made it 38-9 Raiders. Watch number 96, Darrell Russell, look for the Tony Gonzalez tap. He can't do it. Jeff Lewis hit Brad Hoover, but so did number 99, Josh Taves. The former Barcelona Dragon forces the fumble. Darian Gordon picks it up and takes it 74 yards. As time expires, and Darian Gordon's fumble comes just 1 step too late. Oakland romp 52-9. Balanced offense by the Raiders, 230 passing, 179 on the ground. Rich Gannon, the AFC's MVP, 5 touchdown passes. Bad news for the Vikings. No team finishing the season with 3 losses in a row has ever won the Super Bowl. Neither has any team with Bubby Brister at quarterback.
So there's just 1 to go. And
performance from Buffalo, and most of the disappointment came within their own division. In the Central, Tennessee and Baltimore qualify. We talked about Pittsburgh. Jacksonville really missed Fred Taylor, didn't come into form until they got him back, and then left it too late. Cincinnati and Cleveland both very pathetic. And in the West, Oakland 1 game up over Denver. Although, remember, Denver beat the Raiders both games they played them. Kansas City 7-9. That's got to be a bit of a disappointment. They played rather well within the division, not so well outside. Seattle 6-10. A real bigger disappointment. John Kidna not playing well at quarterback for them at all. And San Diego 1-15. They'll get the first-round pick in the draft. Look what they did last time they had the number 2 pick. They took Ryan Leaf. Did them a lot of good, didn't it? The NFC East, a relatively weak division, actually, but the Giants and Philadelphia come out of it strong. Philadelphia, Donovan McNabb, I think you can make a really good case as the NFL MVP. I'm not going to take anything away from Marshall Faulk, but if you wanted to vote for McNabb, I wouldn't argue with you. Washington finished at 8-8. Dallas, all kinds of injuries, short of talent there, 5-10. And Arizona, Dave McGinnis, he did worse than Vince Tobin after he took over, and he got a 5-year contract out of it. I want a job like that. Minnesota and Tampa Bay stepping out of the Central, as we said, just ahead of Green Bay, who finished in a rush, and Detroit, who finished with a cough or a sputter. Chicago at 5-11. Chicago 1-9 in the games Cade McNown started. But like in Buffalo, he was the guy that they paid the money to be their long-term answer, even though he didn't necessarily understand the system and play as well as the other guys they had. And in the West, New Orleans win the division because they had the tiebreaker on division record over St. Louis. Carolina, George Seifert's first ever losing season as a head coach. Remember last year they were a bit of a surprise that they finished 8-8. San Francisco had some good moments, 6-10. They could be turning things around there. And Atlanta, 4-12, played their last game like
3 200-yard games on the ground this season. McNair by slipping, throws into the This is what Fisher wanted to. Who is it?
Good look at this. You're exactly right, Dennis Miller. I'm coming back to do Monday Night Football next season.
Yeah?
Yeah.
All right. I've got a little mistletoe in the small of my back. Make use of it.
I got you. From the 37-yard line on first down, Eddie George across the 50, steps out of bounds, and that's a first down. Carrying that was hurt against Baltimore. Play fake. That's caught by Wycheck, who's their leading receiver, who loses the ball, and it is recovered by the Cowboys. A Wycheck fumble recovered by Myers. Myers came away with the football, and down.
In this game.
And because of that, that's why Tennessee's been able to get away with 3 turnovers and still have the lead to this point. 1st and 5, right, going for the end zone into double coverage, and it is picked off by Denard Walker. McNair throws over the middle, is caught. Wycheck inside the 10. Takes it to the 1, and the flag comes in at the end of the play.
This is that fake screen to the outside, and it's a tight end delay.
Of years. 1st and goal inside the 1. The fake to George. The throw intercepted by Baron Wortham. And the Baltimore Ravens say thank you very much.
And they were trying to get the ball to Bruce Matthews. Bruce Matthews has done everything in his career but score a touchdown.
Wow.
And the ball was underthrown by McNair.
And they'll put the ball down. Can they spike it? Not before the clock goes to 000. So it's the worst conceivable ending for Tennessee. Without a timeout, you can't get out of bounds. You can't spike the ball.
There was no time left on the clock when the ball was snapped. That's the end of the first half.
And for Tennessee, they make every mistake in the world. They turned the ball over 4 times. It's almost unbelievable. The Baltimore Ravens have to be sitting there going, what in the world is going on?
And there will be some.
From the 13-yard line on 2nd and 14. Oh, he loses the ball. And Tennessee has it at the 11-yard line. Eddie Robinson recovers it. Hurst does the celebrating.
And Hurst got the strip. He gets the sack on the play.
He's also hurt. Was at the 10-yard line. First down. Here is George. Cuts it back. Tries to get into the corner of the end zone and does. Touchdown.
I think Jeff Fisher's message at halftime was strength.
That's a first down for Dallas. 1st and 10. Titans show blitz. Here they come. It's a sack. It's a fumble, and it's a Tennessee recovery. Henry Ford comes up with the ball, and unless he was touched down, this is going to be a touchdown. Did anybody touch Henry Ford down is the question. Randall Godfrey on the blitz created a... Looking down at the Adelphia Coliseum. Cold night. Cold night.
Getting colder, too.
Yeah. Cowboys begin this drive from the 7-yard line. What? Smith has it picked off, and that's going to do it. Keith Bullock for the touchdown. So Keith Bullock, their #1 draft choice, who just made a beautiful play to save Hendrick's punt from going into the end zone and resulting in a touchback. And then on the very next play, the interception and the touchdown.
He read that like Jack Squire.
Well, this is so late coming. Trying to hit Smith in the flat, throw me.
And he's made 7 since then.
28-0 as Del Greco has added 3 more.
Gotta like Keith Bullock smooth after the play, too. Didn't turn into a sweat act, baby. All smooth.